last year, last year you came out as a team, and so I'm happy to explain something about what Habitat's been up to and kind of go from there. So, kind of a bit of a background of Habitat Manitoba, if you're not aware of it. Habitat Manitoba has really been a leader in Canada right from the start. The first Canadian home was actually built in 1987 in Winkler. And to date, we've actually helped over 500 families, and we are one of the largest affiliates across Canada. And there's about 400 affiliates right now in Canada. And other affiliates actually look to us for guidance and support, not only in building, but in programs and services that we have developed over the years. And one of those things that we developed was the Habitat Restore. And so they built the first home, and 4 years later, someone got a bright idea to start recycling and selling used building materials. And this idea has really compounded since then. So we receive donations for new and used building materials from either it's a homeowner, contractors, retailers, and manufacturers. And now, as of today, there are over 110 restores in Canada and over 1,000 in North America. So one little spark idea that happened in Winnipeg has now it's pretty much all over the world as well, not just in North America. And the great thing about the restore is it saves about 2 million pounds of reusable material that would have otherwise been headed to the landfill. So that's pretty impressive. And on the 30th anniversary, I think it was 2021, Habitats across Canada reached a milestone. We diverted over 1 billion pounds of product from landfills. So if you enjoy a treasure hunt, you can head down to our restores. We've got one located on Archibald, which is where our administrative offices are, and there's another one on Inkster. So that's kind of a neat little thing about Habitat Restores. Next, I'd also like to talk about some of the things we're doing in the province. So other than just Winnipeg, we also have 14 other chapters across the province. So in 1998, these chapters started to come up, and they've built over 80 homes in rural Manitoba, everywhere from Brandon, Dauphin. Our newest chapter right now is Neepawa. They just came on board. Winkler, Morden, Verdon, Killarney. The list, there's about 14 of them. And so it's an amazing thing to have that much activity in Manitoba. So as a Habitat affiliate, we do a lot more than just fundraising. We're actually always looking to purchase land, and in some cases, we're building entirely new developments, much like the one that you're going to be building on in Transcona. And along with setting up new developments, we may be doing infrastructure, roads, utilities, along with the house construction. Other important functions of making the program work is to partner with families, and we have a selection committee that does that and supports them, and of course our mortgage services. So a little bit about family selection. This committee meets on a regular basis. Families will apply, and based on their level of need and their willingness to partner with us, and of course their ability to pay a mortgage, will determine whether they qualify for the program. Some families would not normally qualify for a mortgage are the ones that we're working with. It kind of removes that barrier to home ownership, which we all know is in a really great need right now in our communities and across country. So part of their commitments when they sign up is they have to commit to 500 sweat equity hours. So they can go and build on their house or other families' houses. They can work the restore. They have if they have a special skill or part of their career that also transfers, like some people, I know one gentleman was a massage therapist. So we have cycling events, and he went to these events and helped some of the cyclists by, giving them this massage after their cycling. So the families do put in quite a bit of effort and are determined. They want to provide for their families, so they're really incentivized to do a really good on their commitment hours. So when the house is built, at, when it's finally ready to be purchased, the family will purchase that home for fair market value. The beauty of the program is they do not pay any interest and there's no down payment on their mortgage for 15 years. The mortgage payments are calculated so that families never pay more than 27% of their income, which really gives them a huge opportunity and ability to pay for all the other necessities that their families will need. Part of the program as well as the families attend educational workshops to, just get them prepared for their first time home ownership. And once they start paying their mortgage, the program is set up in a way that all of that money flows back into the program and Habitat is able to build more homes for more families in the community. It's kind of a gift that never really stops giving. So when you come to the build site and you participate in a build, any of those proceeds that are raised for that event just continue to roll on and on. Yeah, so each house that's completed is completed by volunteers, of course, and we have Habitat staff. We have about 5 red steel carpenters on staff, and then we also contract a lot of professional trades to do things like setting up the basement and the foundations, doing the roofing and the siding, and actually the interior of the homes are also completed by professional trades. So things like drywall and painting, all the plumbing, electrical, and so on is done by professional trades. So let's talk a little bit about what you can expect when you come out to the build site. So we mentioned that August 21st is a Wednesday, is the day for your build. The Pandora Avenue development is where you're going to be. And I'm not sure if anyone has seen the video on that, so I might play that in a bit. And that where we're building, it's a 3-acre property, and we're building 5-plex condos. And there are going to be 11 of those 5-plex condos. So that means 55 families will make that area their home. There'll be 275 people approximately at that site, and about 175 of those will be children. So the houses themselves are a 2-story. They have a full basement as well. They're about 1,300 square feet, and they cost approximately $345,000, including the cost of land. And so that entire project with 55 homes is actually about a $20 million project. And we're happy to have you come out and help us and work. Maybe you'll get to work side by side with one of the homeowners. And so let's talk a little bit about the team build day itself. If you've already been out, you'll kind of know how it works, but it's a full day of building. You get there at about 8:15 and we wrap up at about 4. And when you arrive to the build site, you're partnered with the Best Western Hotel across the street from the building site. So they've graciously given us a really great spot to park, and we also go there for lunch as well. So when you come in the morning, you're going to sign up and gear up. We're going to get you the hard hat, the gloves, the tool belt, steel toe boots. Then we have a little safety talk at 8:30 where they'll go over what's happening on the build site that day. Perhaps there will be, construction trucks coming in that you need to be aware of, or maybe it's, the road is being built and we need to, be aware of that and watch heavy equipment, that kind of thing. And you'll be assigned a crew leader who will guide you through whatever tasks you're doing for that day. It could be building walls. It could be in the basement. It could be hauling, gravel into a basement, that type of thing. So depending on each person, if let's say you were working along and you're not quite comfortable about how you're building that day, you just go to your crew leader and they're really great. at assigning you maybe a different task that you're more comfortable with. So they are very skilled and patient crew leaders. I know because I've been out to the build site last year, and I'm definitely not a construction person, but I still felt like I contributed. So it was a really, inspiring day to know that you've accomplished something that's a little bit bigger than yourself. You got to work alongside other friends or colleagues or people you work with, and sometimes the homeowner is there as well. So it's really a wonderful day. I wanted to mention too about the impact that your donation will actually provide. So we noticed, and there was a survey also done by another outside company. The benefits are about threefold. There's a reduction in our social services within the community. Families notice an improvement in their health, and children really gain a really greater confidence and are able to achieve a lot more. So, for example, last year, your investment of $3,000 will equal about 13,500 in social benefits over the next 25 years. So things like families, 50% of them are more active in the community compared to about 15% as a national average. 60% report a reduced uh, usage of the food bank. 70% of them continue to donate their time and money to charities, which is really amazing. I think a lot of families look back and say, oh, we are so grateful for what we've received. We want to continue to pay that forward. Some of the children, I have my son had a friend who was part of a Habitat family, and he did really exceptional in school. He ended up at MITT, took their programs there. They actually hired him. He is now fast forward another 8 years after he graduated, and he's now head of one of the departments, and he's also teaching. They gave him extra training. So Habitat families really do achieve higher goals. The children have better school grades, and a lot of them go on to have a degree or even higher. Other things too is health. 87% report less asthma and allergy related conditions. There was a woman last year, she moved in to her house. She was a single mom with her son, and she, within a few months, she noticed she was sleeping a lot better because she was felt safe and comfortable in their new home. And her biggest thing was she couldn't pinpoint why, but her anemia got better just miraculously by itself, along with her skin condition that she had. So there is all kinds of improved benefits of being a Habitat homeowner. So I'm really hoping that we'll have a full house come out to the build site. And if anyone has any questions right now, I'd be happy to answer those as well.
Yes, I have a question.
Oh, sure.
How do you control the people who wind up with the house from reselling it at a profit and pocketing it?
Okay, so if you think of any home, once you are the owner of that home, if that homeowner, like let's say their 15-year mortgage is up and they go to a bank now, and they will gain the rest of their mortgage through the bank. So, excuse me. So if they decide as a family, maybe they're moving or they have to move on or something happens within the family, they can sell that home because they are the homeowner. So as is with every home, sometimes there is a profit for sure, but that's part of being of home ownership. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does. I'm just concerned that there's so many scams going on and so many people trying to take advantage. I'm talking about the short term. How do you prevent?
That
How do you protect yourself against those people?
It typically doesn't happen. I honestly, personally, have not seen that happen, but not to say that that could be the case. So if a family decides they want out of the program and they're still in their 15-year mortgage, we actually buy the home back from them. So in that case, we would buy the home back and then go in there and maybe we have to paint or do something to spruce it up, and then it would be sold to another family. So that
Thank
does
you.
happen periodically.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Did you have a question, Ron?
Yeah, my question was just how did they choose like what families get what? You know what I mean? Like whether you get a side by side or a regular house, you know, a single house, or like how do if everyone does the same thing, like every family has to do the 500-hour volunteer and everything, how does Habitat decide which families get which houses if they're not all the same, you know?
Correct. Okay. So, for example, let's say we just signed a partner into the program and they were given the opportunity to look at what housing was available in the next few years. So whether it's on Pandora Avenue, we also do some infill housing. So there might be an opportunity for some housing that Manitoba Housing has gifted to us and then we repurpose and fix it up. And we also have another development coming up on Panet Road. So they would be told about all the opportunities and depending also on their income. So let's say these brand new houses that are $350,000. If someone only made, and I believe our bottom range is about 30,000, we would not want to offer them that opportunity because that might be stretching it beyond their needs. So we really try to gauge the best fit for each family, but the family ultimately has the choice. If they decide, you know, my income is good enough and I want to go into Panet because that's an option and it's a side-by-side home, they can sign up for that. Hopefully that makes sense as well. Okay, thank you.
David.
I had a
has
question about the numbers of applicants that you would have for the Pandora complex, and what's the wait list of people?
Yeah, it's a very difficult task. We have a full committee that they go over all the applications. They have to collect information about their credit rating, their CRA notice of assessments. They have to provide information about their employment and their current rental, wherever they're renting. They have to provide references. So there's quite a lengthy process behind that. And in a lot of cases, we find that the applicants aren't quite ready to be a homeowner. So we kind of guide them on the next step. Maybe they have too much debt, or maybe, you know, their income isn't quite where it needs to be if they want that house on Pandora. How can we kind of help them and guide them along? So, and then let's say if that person was in the right range, so then they also schedule home visits so that they can determine that there's actually a need. Because if someone can afford their own mortgage, they really don't have the opportunity to be part of the program. But if, let's say they've been spending all their money on rent and they've got 4 children, let's say, and they just can't get ahead, so they would definitely fit the program. So there either has to be a need, maybe it's not safe. There's a lot of families where it's not safe. They might be living in a neighborhood that's not conducive to raising a family. Or I know another woman last year, she moved out of a affordable home that she was renting so that she could provide a safer location. But then there were 3 children and there were only 2 bedrooms. So her 3 boys were all sharing 1 room. So we look at a lot of combinations of different things to try and determine that. And we have everyone from the committee members might be lawyers or social service experts or mortgage people. You know, they are very keen on and also knowledgeable in their own field that they're able to help us make those decisions. It's a big process. For sure.
My question relating to this project is how many of those units, those homes, have already been allocated to the future homeowners?
I believe it's about half right now have been allocated. So that's about 25 in that range. And then we've also, on the other project, which we haven't even started building yet, I believe there's a few that have already selected to go to the Panet location.
The other thing, the question was $350,000 sounds quite a steep amount for a 1/5 of a fiveplex.
Yeah, the homes are about 1,300 square feet. They're fairly large, and yeah, and at the time of purchasing the mortgage, it'll be based on fair market value. So that'll be determined at that time, but it'll roughly be around that. Now, if a family didn't have the income to support that, we have other projects like the one on Panet. I don't know the exact dollar amount of those, but some of the other ones, like recently we refurbished some homes in the Osborne area. I think it was in Fort Rouge. And those homes were valued at around 260 to 80,000. So those are a little more affordable. So someone with, let's say a single mom who, maybe can't afford the Pandora home, we do have other opportunities that they can fit into. We do our best. It's a really difficult process for sure.
So carry on, Michelle. Did you want to show us a video, you said?
Yeah, actually, I'll see if I can share my screen here. All right, and where's this video? Oh, here, this is the one. Hopefully you can hear this. I'm going to start to play it. Uh-oh. Oh, no, I don't think you can hear this. Can you?
No.
No? Okay. Let's see.
Michelle,
Yes.
on the when you bring up your screen on your computer, and before you shared this video, it should say on the bottom left, share audio.
Oh, okay. Let's
So
do
you have-
stop share, and let's see if I have share audio. Stop video, share screen, bottom left. I have
So
mute.
so it's not part of the Zoom icons, but it's
Okay.
when you have, for instance, you have a Word document up on your computer, you don't want to share that, but you also have that video ready to go. On the bottom of those squares, somewhere it says share audio or share.
Okay. I've done this before, so I'm not sure why. Share. Try this again. I apologize that the volume is on maximum.
Yeah, it's something to do with the Zoom.
I apologize. I can't seem to find that. Oh, here we go. It says share sound. Let's
Share
see.
sound, sorry.
Oh, yes. Thank you very much. Sorry about that.
I didn't have the greatest childhood. I spent about, I'd say, from the ages of 12 to 21. The last 5 of those years were very serious years on the streets. That took a turn in the way of me not really knowing how to treat myself or how to be treated. I would have been a part of the graduation class of 2000. I was not. Didn't graduate.
I'm going to pause it for a second to see if it can catch up. I'm not sure why it's doing that. Technical difficulties.
However, I did go on to have my eldest daughter who's sitting beside me. Her name's Marika. And I actually.
I apologize for that. I'm going to send you that video so that you can maybe share it amongst yourselves, because that is not, that doesn't give you a good picture of that particular video. Sorry about that. And it's right on my computer too, so it's not like I'm not even using the internet for that. All right.
Okay. Anything else, Michelle?
I think that's everything. Has anyone actually been on a build? I know Julie was there last year. Did anyone else come out? Oh, you look familiar, Ellie.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's been 20 years. No,
Oh,
20 years that I did a build, and I love every minute of it.
that's great. But you look so familiar. I can't put my finger on it, but maybe it'll come to me later. So it was fun. You had a good time, and
Amazing.
that's great.
Yeah. And we were going through a home renovation ourselves. So I was surrounded by building at home and then going to the site for the day. It was really fun.
Thanks so much, Michelle. And we'll be putting the call out to our members and also to the Rotaractors. My understanding is we have 12 spots for the 21st of August. So we will be filling those spots, I'm sure. And we'll be putting, as I said, we'll put the call out so that we get some Rotaractors and some of our own members to participate. So again, thanks so much again. And thanks for all Habitat does in